What's up, everybody? Before we get into this episode of the Colum Tyrrell Podcast, I just want you to know that you can help support the growth of this podcast right now by heading over to patreon.com/Colum Tyrrell. Over there, I release an extra episode every week. That episode, believe it or not, is raw, it's hardcore, it's wild, it is unedited, and I say a lot of stuff that I cannot say on YouTube, and most comedians we cannot say on these platforms, but over there on Patreon, we still do that. For as little as $5 a month, you can get that extra episode every single week, and it does help us. We keep the lights on above our heads. We can keep the guests coming in, and the staff will continue to edit these episodes. We can only do that for the fans like yourself who support us and personally support me over at patreon.com/Colum Tyrrell. If you head over there right now, join the Patreon. We've got a back catalogue of over 300 hours of all my previous podcasts. Guests include Dan Soder, Big J Oakerson, Matt McCusker, Doug Stanhope, just to name a few. It's so much going on for as little as $5 a month. That's an absolute steal. Personally, you would help me out a lot, and I want to thank you so much for helping me grow this podcast, and I want to thank you for the support already. So I won't hold you here any longer. Enjoy the episode. Well, we're in. This is how we start. A very jaggedy intro.
Oh, just in it?
We're in.
Okay, I love it.
It'll just be
right in, dude.
Yeah, there's no big thing. I'll do a little pre-thing.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Jeremiah Watkins was my guest today.
Jeremiah. Me and Jeremiah go back years, and I'll plug all your stuff.
Love it.
You can plug your stuff real quick
right now at the top
if you want. Yeah, before they leave.
That's a frantic panic. The new Scissor Bros album is out right now. It's our best of 34 tracks from the podcast that we recorded, and then I have a new stand-up on the spot special from Houston that we recorded there that's free on my YouTube page, youtube.com/Jeremiah Watkins.
Great. Everyone go check it out. Leave a comment, say you saw him on this.
Yeah,
nice. The Scissor Bro, you record who's that you do that with? The Scissor Bros.
I do that with my buddy Stevie Weeby.
Yeah. Asian guy.
Yeah,
that must be cool. Kind of. It feels like I would rather have an Asian co-host than
than like
just a white guy.
Just a white dude.
Yeah, I feel like it's like
more.
It's like I'm doing something. I feel like it's like
you feel like you're being progressive.
Yeah, I'm taking photos.
Hey man, you're stopping Asian hate one episode at a time.
That's exactly it.
Right.
Yeah, there's like a street cred to it.
Yeah,
a little bit of flavor.
I haven't looked at it like that, but that's interesting.
I think you're giving back.
That's definitely not how I'm looking at it.
Nice. Yeah, good. I missed you last night. You were at the Comedy Store thing, right?
I was there the first 4 hours of the night, and then I've been fighting with my voice this week. The allergies just like hit me real hard, and I lost my voice this week.
Wow, well, thanks for finding the time for the Colum Tyrrell Podcast.
I didn't want to flake on you. I don't want to be the epitome of what LA is. It's like, sorry, man, I just said my voice. I just said, I'll show up with my voice sucks today, but whatever.
I never confirmed that you were going to be the guest. I never confirmed with you yesterday, and then today I woke up, I was like, I hope he remembers or whatever, and I messaged you.
Yeah.
Like, just make sure, and then I didn't get it back immediately, and I was just like, I'm going to be so fucking angry. I was already in my head going, God damn it.
I should have reminded.
I should have reminded you, but also then it would have fucked me. You would have royally fucked me.
Oh, no. I know that. You're coming in from out of town, so I was like, I got to show up today.
Yeah,
and you're renting a studio space, which is very cool. So, yeah, I appreciate you,
But then I was even, to my head, I was having this conversation going like this. All right, don't be a pussy if he pulls out. Just say, like, hey, you fucked me. But I know I would have just been like, absolutely fine. Don't worry about it, dude. I get it.
See you in NY the next time you're here.
Yeah, another time. Yeah, no big deal. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is like when somebody flakes on you that hard, it's pretty rare that you ever want to do a podcast with them again. When it's that, like, you're like, dude, you completely hung me out to dry. Like, I can't get a guest this short of notice. And, like, I got a space and everything, so I get it.
It would have been very funny for me to then just do the episode on my own with this big, over-the-top studio, just to be sitting here just rambling about TI or whatever.
I had a buddy who, he was doing my podcast, and literally 3 minutes before we were confirmed, he goes, hey, man, I'm not going to make it. And I go, dude, I literally, like, I turned red hot. I almost started sweating. I was so angry. And then, like, he goes, like 5 minutes later, he goes, "JK, I'm outside your place." I'm
Oh
like,
my God, that's great.
dude. I'm like, you got me. You got me. That's the way to do it.
And so the whole episode, you're just fucking still angry.
No, we addressed it at the top. I was like, bro, you literally pissed me off so much. Like, I don't get angry that easily, but that kind of stuff, I'm like, if you are double confirmed and then somebody's like, yeah, it's just not happening. He's like, yeah, I had a date. I'm like, a date? It's 2 p.m. What are you talking about?
You didn't say anything bad, though? My biggest fear with that would be like...
No, I took a moment. Because through messages, I never, like, I have to, if I'm really upset with somebody, I have to either call them or talk face to face. I don't do the interpret it your ways, like through text or DMs. It's like, no, you'll know if I'm actually upset with you. Because I want to get on the phone or I want to talk it out face to face.
Yeah, because then they can misread like whatever. You know, that you'll say whatever.
Right, and that can mean 1,000 different. Like, okay, whatever. Yeah, sure.
Absolutely. I'm so hungover though. Last night was crazy. So I went to the Comedy Store thing. Yeah, not invited.
50th anniversary.
Not invited.
And
I'm
if you can crash that party, that's dope.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. We showed up. It was like me, Josh Potter, Kevin Ryan.
Oh man,
we we're like everyone was in suits and dresses and so we showed up.
I wore
shorts
last night,
and we were covered in buffalo sauce and we were hammered, sculling fucking shots at the bar.
I wish I could have hung last night. I went back to my place and after all that I was talking and you know how like that environment's like loud and you're already having to kind of push your voice. I had to do a couple voiceover auditions before I went to sleep and I was like, whew.
Last night before you went to bed, Jesus, workhorse.
Trying, man.
You don't drink though, do you?
No, so that does help with the recovery rate for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, with like lots of water and stuff like that. Yeah.
Weed? You smoke weed or no?
No,
You just totally.
Dude, just comedy, man. I get high off life and comedy, bro.
The laughs are all
crazy.
I need.
It's all I need, man.
Hook it to my veins. Absolutely awesome. What's weird with being surrounded by celebrities, I guess, though. But well, you must be used to it out here in LA, just constantly.
Yeah, I mean,
didn't you have a clip with Dennis Rodman go viral? Was that you?
It was. I don't know if it went viral or not, but
well, I watched it, so to me, it's
so
like
to
viral.
You, it went viral if it got to your page.
That's all you need.
Yeah. That was a roast battle moment. That was a crazy moment that happened during roast battle. He was hanging out one night for roast battle in the belly room. Brian Moses was hosting the show, and Dennis Rodman, he was like kind of hinting that he was going to be like a judge of the roast battle. He's just kind of hanging out and he ended up walking on stage and he grabbed the mic from Moses. Like, you're going to let him grab the mic from you because it's Rodman.
He does whatever he wants.
Yeah. The Worm's grabbing the mic. Come on, man. So he grabs the mic and he's so drunk. Nobody can understand him.
Yeah.
Like he's and like literally like Moses looks at me and like Willie Hunter and Jamar Neighbors as the wave were in the corner and we're looking at Moses like. And so I walk up on stage and I act like I was an interpreter. I started doing fake sign language to the crowd. And it started crushing because like literally nobody knew. And then Moses hopped on board and we just like made it a thing.
Incredible.
Like,
he's hard to understand when he's sober. Like I've listened to his podcast and I'm like, what is he? He's just
he has a podcast.
He's been guest on podcasts,
right.
And he had a podcast. He was a marriage counselor or something. He had like a web series. Remember that?
Yeah, and he did like weird reality TV stints for a little bit. Like he's like, I mean, that was the whole thing with like the wedding dress and all that. Like in People magazine, he's always like publicity kind of stunts. So I think that's why he like walked on stage like, I don't care what happens to me because I like doing weird stuff. Like. In the Last Dance,
an act? You think it's all an act, or you think he is genuinely weird?
I think there's genuine weirdness there, and when you're that eccentric, I think you just start to play into it because people allow you to have that behavior, and they get excited because you're doing crazy things. Like in the Last Dance docuseries, they literally like he would go on like those Vegas binges, and then he'd show up and kill it the next day, and they're like, okay, well. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he's doing his thing.
He made it late too, right? Because I think I was listening to a podcast about his life. He got a growth spurt like when he was like 18 or 19. Like it was like
the tail end of high school, right?
It was like weird.
Then he like through college he got better and better.
Yeah. Weirdo. I'd love to be that weird. I think I'm too. I could never be like even wearing nail polish or something.
Does that weird you out?
That would
stuff like that.
I couldn't do it, but I look at other people going, "Wow, so much freedom! Look at this freak! Look at this freak in a dress.
That's hilarious." You're like, I would love that, but I just no, that's not me.
It would irk me, you know.
Yeah.
Even if I had money, I couldn't.
So so even for comedy purposes, let's say you had to dress up in full drag for something. Would that be very difficult for you to do?
Maybe.
Like nails, makeup, but it's a funny sketch. It's like funny,
Wait,
dude.
am I like, do I look like a horrible lady? Like, do I look horrible, or am I trying to look hot?
No, we try to make you look hot in it.
I don't think I could be. I don't think I could look at myself, but beautiful.
Right.
I find myself.
Yeah,
I look in the mirror.
See, that's what you're scared of.
Oh,
Trying
no.
these new other things. You're worried about like, what if this is the new me? Like,
I do it. I just got turned trans, but the only way I can do it is like, no, it's a bit.
Dude,
it's an ongoing sketch about my life.
Hey, it's this character I do on stage that's leaked into my life.
Yeah. I don't know if I would like to be a tall. One thing I wouldn't like to be like a tall lady.
Well,
I think I would.
We're both
fight,
tall guys.
Yeah, I think I would fight my inner need to transition.
Right.
To
just out of height alone.
Yeah, I just want to be a tall lady. I just don't want to be
so
that.
Funny.
If I was small, I could do it. I could.
You're right. If I was a petite trans woman, that'd be cool. But like I'm big, so like I missed my window.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
I should have done.
Yeah.
I should have got in when I was younger.
Right.
Like 13 or something like that.
Sure.
Yeah, but it could be some benefits to being trans. Now that I've had the male brain.
I like by the end of this episode we find out Colum is he's just a trans. He's like comes out as trans. Like actually, this is just actually talking over Jeremiah. Like I feel way better as a woman. Like we're just gonna do that. I'm like, all right, well,
maybe
this podcast was effective.
I'm getting bored. Can you do it out of boredom? Just like being a man, I've been there. I get it.
Right.
There's a whole lot of like. I'm expected to fix
You're tired of being the straight white male. You know what I mean?
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
Having the weight of the world on my
the
shoulders.
plight, man.
Having to get things done. It'd be nice to have an excuse to not achieve anything once in a while, right? Not have to be the breadwinner. There are some benefits to being a woman.
Okay, everybody, we're going to take a break from the podcast for one quick second to let you know I'm on tour for the rest of the year. Obviously, I do stand-up comedy. You should know that by now, but please come out and check me out. I promise you, these are great shows. At the moment, I'm on tour with Mike Rainey and Tim Budley of Dad Me Podcast. You must know them. They've been a regular on this podcast over the years. I've been a regular on their podcast, and our live tour has been crushing it. We sold out in New York. We sold out in Boston. We sold out in Chicago. We sold out somewhere else. I can't even remember where that was. Maybe was it Baltimore? Because I'm never going back. But we've got dates coming up, and if you live in any of these cities, please consider buying some tickets. The tickets links will be in the description below. We've got coming up this April 12th in Philadelphia, Helium Comedy Club. There's not many tickets left, and I don't say that as a thing. Sometimes people say that. This is really it's this day next week, so by the time this comes out, hopefully we'll be sold out by now. But if you're in Philadelphia, this is my first time performing there in a long time. First time doing a long set down there ever. So please consider buying tickets for that. Then coming up, we also have Detroit coming up, Cleveland coming up. We're going to be down in Texas. We've got Houston, Austin, San Antonio. So that'll be a great little run over there. We also got Indianapolis coming up and Raleigh in North Carolina. We will also be adding dates to Nashville and hopefully Atlanta, Georgia on that run too. So keep an eye out if you're in those cities. And if you're in a city that you'd like us to come, leave a comment below and we'll try to figure out a way to make it work. All we need is about 15 to 20 people and we'll be willing to do it. It doesn't matter where you live, even if it's the most irrelevant place in the world, like fucking, I don't know, LA or whatever. We will go to these little shitty places to see you. So please consider buying tickets. It'd be great for help us grow everything that we're doing, and it's also a great opportunity for us to meet you because we do genuinely appreciate each and every one of you for helping us do our thing. Thank you. Now back to the show.
But yes, so who else is like a celebrity that's gone crazy?
That's just gone crazy, like in general, or
I see Elon Musk bought Twitter. I don't know if that's true or not. I think he pretty much...
I don't know if that's true. I haven't heard anything about that yet, but it also, at the same time, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities.
Yeah. Was that if you were a multi-billionaire, could you find yourself buying an
social media? I don't think so, because I think that already, I don't think any one person should be able to own something like that. That's way too much influence.
Yes.
Like, I think that there needs to be like almost like like a democracy kind of thing where it's like a bunch of different people have to own something like that once it reaches a certain point.
Yeah.
Like when Zuckerberg, he obviously created Facebook and stuff like that. I don't know how that works, but like, I mean, with the elections and different stuff like that, now Facebook is so influential with who you vote for on either side because they literally show different sponsored posts to different parts of the country.
Yeah.
So to me, I think that you would need almost like a board of people like that are nonpartisan, like to be able to run companies like Twitter.
There comes a certain point when it becomes, when is it a private company and when is it
the public owns it.
The public.
You don't, it's too big. Like you as a one person, like I know you created this, but like, this is bigger than just you now. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, it must be nice. So Bezos owns the Washington Post, is it, or something?
Does he?
Yeah, he owns. They all own something. They're all controlling the narrative.
Yeah.
Dude, we're fucked.
Hey man, but we got Amazon Prime, so it's all good, homie.
That is true.
Right.
But it'd be nice to own these. Just be like a billionaire and go, I'm just gonna buy the paper, and you can stop making fun of my hair implants.
Oh,
or whatever.
Guaranteed. That's happened over the years for sure.
Elon Musk
buying off like different stuff. Like,
Absolutely.
I don't like the way I'm being painted. Like that's the whole thing. The reason why, for example, Norm Macdonald got fired from Saturday Night Live is his he kept making O.J. Simpson jokes, and the president of NBC was really good friends with OJ, and he gave him multiple warnings. Is like, hey, that's my boy. Stop making OJ murdered his wife jokes. And Norm's like, yeah, all right, sure. And he's like, he just kept going hard in the paint. And
fucking legend.
Yeah,
nice. Damn, sad he's gone now.
Yeah, I know. He was one of those comics where I was like, man, I never met him and I never got to work with him. And he was one of those guys where I'm like, oh, I loved his comedy and just his persona and everything. I would have loved to work with him.
I've never heard of anyone who doesn't like him. Anyone.
Well, he's a total comic as far as like that goes. Like every comic was like, oh man, he's such a good joke writer, and just like the delivery, like his Conan interviews and stuff like that. I love watching.
Yeah, once he died, I think I just started going down these rabbit holes of all this stuff.
Well, it's so weird. Like the way the internet works now is like with meme culture and stuff like that, a lot of best of and clips that like we may have known as comedians before that really get pushed into the public eye, and then like all these people who didn't really know these celebrities are like, oh man, this guy was so funny. It's like it sucks like after they're gone. It's always after they're gone.
Yeah, but he went on the top.
Yeah,
he did it well.
Yeah,
you don't want to see them go all old and sad and
see that is a weird thing about comics is like obviously for me it's like it's tragic that like a comic like Chris Farley passed away that early, but somebody who's that physical, like that's not a long shelf life of doing that. Like going that hard, like that would be hard to see him like really get old and like, you know what I mean? That's a hard thing. Obviously it's too soon, of course, but it's a weird thing with like guys like John Belushi who live hard and fast where you're like, is that what they really wanted? You know what I mean? Like they just didn't want to, like they put themselves in that situation where they're like, oh, I'm not living till 60. There's no way. Like I'm just going to go and put everything out there.
Well, that's, I guess by being reckless, but that's how they became so fucking explosive or whatever. And then if you're thinking about long term, they wouldn't have been who they were.
Like, I'm playing it safe and but
every
inside your head.
It's sad. Nearly every comic goes like kind of bad at the end, right? Or is it like, what is it? Do you ever notice comedians like they just get to a certain point where you go, all right, they've peaked?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. There's guys who that's why I really respect like a guy like Steve Martin who he went out. He's one of the few comics who's like, no, I'm retiring.
Yeah,
I retired at the top. He does other things now.
Yeah,
he's an author. He's a great writer. He still does movies and stuff like that. He's a great banjo player.
Great player.
I want to see him live. That's
I've heard.
I heard he's a killer, dude. I would love to take my dad to one of those Steve Martin concerts. I don't think he does them very often, but I think that'd be so cool.
I heard that just for him though. Like it's like he doesn't give a fuck if you guys are enjoying it or not.
Yeah.
Like he'll show up and then people are like screaming him to say stuff and he just goes.
Oh yeah.
And he's like messing around. He's just like riffing and shit and there's like a stadium full of people.
That's amazing.
And he just keeps going forever.
That's so cool. Yeah, I love that mentality. Just like, no, I'm gonna do me.
Do you play the banjo?
No, I play guitar, but not the banjo.
I feel like you play every instrument or no?
No,
It's just like some-
I'm very intermediate at multiple instruments.
Oh, you a little bit of this. A little
yeah,
bit of that?
I'm best at sax. I've played that the longest, and then keys and guitar outside of that. So yeah.
Yeah, you're actually an actual talented person in comedy. Most people are talentless. They can be funny, but they're not talented. You know, I don't think being funny is like a huge talent.
You don't think so?
Not really. Not like singing or
I don't know.
doing impressions.
I disagree with that. I think that
Can you do an Irish impression or no?
I mean, my voice is messed up right now, but I can do it all right. It's not amazing, but it's pretty rough right now, actually.
That's not bad.
One of my friends said that I need to actually just calm down with it a little bit more, like that, where it's not so hitting it so hard.
It's not. Yeah, it's all right.
You know,
It's good.
It's not horrible, but you know,
It'll do. You'll get ripped alive in a movie if you're,
Right.
you're in a movie, but at
maybe
least it's not.
catching a project or something like that. But
Most people do a silly accent.
they try to do today.
That's what they do.
That's what they
but
do.
that's-
And he got I never do it that hard, but he's like, just like, don't do it quite as hard. Just like, you know, it's more conversational. Maybe hit a couple of things here or there, but maybe not that.
you do that, and I'll try to do an American accent. I can't do one. But
Okay.
it's more like just like, hi, I'm over enunciating. I'm enunciating all of my words.
I mean, you sound like the New York subway
That's
station
what
guy.
Stand clear of the closing doors.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Next
nailing that
up,
guy.
Union Square.
Hello, miss. I would like to have sex with you tonight.
Hi.
Is that okay?
I would love some nachos. I am an American man,
Nachos,
and I am
yes.
eating nachos.
Nachos.
Let's go Mets. I'm just saying things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love basketball. It's not. It's like that's kind of
I played basketball a game or two in my time. Yeah, I like it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can do a Chinese accent. Great, but I'm not gonna do it.
Okay, I'll trust you.
I'll show you after.
Okay,
I'll let
cool.
you-
Yeah,
we can do a
in privates.
We'll do our Chinese
Yeah, yeah.
accents afterwards.
Right. Yeah.
Is Japanese okay? Are you allowed to do Japanese or no? What's the rule?
I don't think so.
What's the society says no in Japanese?
Well, if we were comedians in the 80s, we would all be doing every accent.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I would still be too. If no one told me that I shouldn't, I'd be doing them.
The accent.
You know what I mean?
For me as a
That's
character.
not like a moral thing that I became in my soul. I was like, I'm not gonna do that.
For me as a guy who does like characters and sketches and stuff like that and a lot of improv, the accent thing with the cancel culture is a difficult one for me because I'm like, if you're doing them all across the board
Yes.
and you're not saying like specifically stereotypical or racist stuff as the accent,
Yeah.
why is there an issue? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That one's a little bit odd for me.
Yeah.
Like I don't like
If it's a perfect impression,
if it's a good impression,
But-
and you're not just doing like
Yeah.
like you know like
you're
what
not going
whatever,
bing bong.
right? You know what I'm
ding,
saying?
ding.
Yeah. Then like what? I don't know. It's an interesting one.
Yeah. And then you gets difficult with like African and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
Especially
yeah.
like no, this is a white African.
You're like,
guy.
I just
say
saw-
that's a white African.
You're like, I just saw the movie Black Panther. I just wanted to like say the
Where's the
accent.
diamond? That's you might as well kill me because I am already dead. That's kind of Africanish. You're drinking your water. Just,
Yeah, ish. Yeah, water break. It's just like I all that. Man, dude, my throat is. I don't know.
Japan's the funniest one when it's a comical one. But I let people can do the Irish accent when it's like diddly widdly because I know it's fun for them to do that. It's not a good impression, but it's like a fun.
Yeah.
It's like Jamaican. It's like
oh yeah.
it's like a fun. With Japanese is if you do the like that's a fun sort of noise to it.
So like
It doesn't have to be real, but that's a funny sound.
just the guttural.
Just yeah. That makes me laugh a lot.
I mean, all silly voices, regardless of what it is. Just if it's silly, like it's gonna be fun. You know what I mean? I grew up like mimicking like cartoons and different stuff like that. Where I'm like, oh, I like the way that voice sound. That's like a unique sound. You know?
For
You're
sure.
like kind of drawn to things that are not like you. You're like, oh, okay.
What cartoons did you grow up watching?
I grew up watching a lot of different cartoons.
Hey Arnold and stuff.
Yeah, Hey Arnold, Doug, Rugrats, Yogi Bear, Animaniacs, Batman the Animated Series, of course, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Spider-Man,
Yeah,
like all those 90s. Like I feel like that's a very golden era of cartoons, is that 90s block of cartoon. And I still Pokemon. I'll go back and I still watch all that stuff. I love it.
Do you think that's only because you watched like any other era? It's not like you're still watching cartoons, right? You're not giving these new shows a chance and going, what? This is crap.
No, but when my
This
son
ain't no Rugrats, I tell you.
when my son gets older, I'm sure I'll start exploring cartoons a little bit more, like on what's like going on right now and stuff like that. But I do think some of the shows do hold up. The Batman animated series from the 90s is a very much darker take on a cartoon than a lot of kids' cartoons. Like way more menacing. Like it's not as like sappy and like, hey guys, I'm gonna go get the yeah. So I like stuff like that. And even like the Spider-Man series was like, it seemed like more mature. And I've watched that since, and I'm like, I try to look at unbiased. I'm like, I think this was still good, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I try not to go back.
What cartoons did you watch in Ireland?
Pretty much all the same stuff, but it was late. It was like...
How late was it? Because I know that's an ongoing joke in other countries. Like, we just got it.
Now, growing up for me, well, we didn't have cable in my house, so we just had whatever the free television stuff was.
Yeah.
Those were the rabbit ears or whatever. Or a fork. Actually.
Oh, dude, I had the rabbit. Dude,
do you ever make one out of do you ever make one out of
with a foil and stuff like that?
Yeah,
you know it, bro.
We had a TV. We had a couple of TVs with forks jammed in the back of them to try pick up and have like a black and white kind of. We're kind of watching TV. It's like harder to watch TV, but we're like, this is great.
Yeah, I remember having I thought it was the coolest freaking thing. It had a radio built into it, and it was a little 5-inch TV monitor that I like saved up money for and like bought it like a Radio Shack, black and white, had a the analog dial on it.
Oh,
and
nice!
It had the antenna on the back, and dude, I loved this thing because I saved up for it and I bought it with my money. I was like, this is so cool. This is white, had a little handle on it, plug it into the wall, and I felt like it was the coolest technology ever.
Yeah, for sure. I remember we had the TV and it was like the biggest.
Dude, the fattest back where if you lifted the back of it, like you were like, oh, this is way too heavy. I can't lift this alone. Like I got to get some help.
Yeah, for sure. But we had like a lot of TV shows where like, I think cartoons, it's hard to tell about cartoons because they were kind of like timeless almost in a way, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like you were waiting for a new episode, I don't think.
Right.
But we had shows like Knight Rider was a show I grew up watching. I grew up, I watched a lot of these reruns because it was, they aired them on the main channels a lot. I didn't really have Disney or Nickelodeon until like way later after a lot of my friends and stuff like that. Like I got into those shows later. Like I didn't have like the Salute Your Shorts and that like the Hidden Temple and all that like era of Nickelodeon and stuff like that. But I would watch old school shows. My parents would be like, yeah, this is quality television because they grew up on it. It was like Gilligan's Island, the Flintstones,
and, different stuff like that. Andy Griffith's show, like black and white shows and stuff like that. Did you watch any of those over there?
I didn't have that.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it's another era before our time, but like I grew up on that, and it's very like classic comedy, like very hammed up, like I Love Lucy's she was very physical on the show and stuff like that. It's cool.
Mink and Morty or whatever with Robin Williams.
Oh yeah.
So what you probably
Mork and Mindy, yeah.
Mork and Mindy, that was the one, yeah. But you might have been like me if you didn't have the channels, I guess. But I used to like lie about what I'd be watching. Like everyone would watch wrestling, but I didn't have the wrestling channels. Oh, I love The Rock.
I remember.
I love
Stone
Cold Austin. Yes,
having to when Chappelle's show was in its heyday.
Yeah,
I didn't have Comedy Central at the time, and I remember having to listen and just like I'd have to smile and listen all the time, and just not volunteer. I'd just be in the circle, and they were quoting Chappelle's show like crazy. And they kept saying in the waters of Lake Minnetonka and like, different quotes from the show. And I was just like, yeah. Like, and then I found out about it like later. And then eventually I watched it like, oh, this is what everybody was loving.
Yeah. I guess, I don't even know. We weren't poor, but looking back, I was probably the poor kid. But like, and I would just like lie about what the TV was.
We always like,
it's like, I love doing that. Sure.
We always lived like slightly above our means, if that makes sense. Like where it's like, kind of paycheck to paycheck, and we were like very like working class family, but had nice things, but like we like would have to pay them off and do that kind of stuff, and like
for sure.
My mom and dad were always working like a ton to make things happen and like make sure that we like got to play the sports that we wanted to and different stuff like that.
Do you ever look back and were you a good kid? Let's say you're a good kid.
I was a good kid. Yeah, I was a real good kid.
I feel like you're just like a good guy. That's your thing, is it?
Well,
What's your secret? You probably have something going on, do you? I bet you go home to slur. You just say slurs all day around the house.
Just in the mirror, I just start cutting myself and saying slurs in the mirror.
Doing all these accents. You go, I should cancel culture took these accents from me.
Right.
You have a lampshade on your head and stuff. You're like really going hardcore. But then when you come out, you're like,
hey guys,
I'm a priest.
Hello there.
You got like pastor energy.
Do I?
I feel like you're about to quote something and help me feel better about my day. I just feel like that's it.
I try to put out positive vibes out there. I'm a very energy based person.
Yeah.
And I do only associate with people who I think are contributing good and have a good or positive energy about them. If you're super negative, like you're probably not going to be in my life like super long term. If you're like, if that's your MO, like this and I don't know. Yeah. So I try to live that way where I surround myself with positive people. So I feel like it is when you surround yourself with other positive people, it's hard to not be positive.
Yeah. Well, so when you went out to New York, where you're just like, why is everyone so angry?
No,
what is
it's
with
just,
all these? It's because we're poor. We have no money in New York.
No, there's a difference between having like you're going through the school hard knocks versus being an inherently a negative person.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you're taking on the chin, it doesn't make sense to all the time be like, well, I'm just going to pick myself back up. And that's not realistic.
God only gives you what you can handle.
Right. That's a hard quote. That is a hard quote. I do believe it to a certain degree, but that's when I'm in a rough time. Anytime you've told yourself that,
leukemia, and you're like, no, but God will only give you.
Anytime you're telling yourself that, you are in a very rough spot, and I feel for you. You know what I mean? That is a hard place to be when you're that. And I've been there at different times in life. I'm like,
it was like,
nope, I can't. I'm only being thrown what I can handle right now.
Earlier today, I was waiting on a lift, right? And then it just kept searching, and I said to myself, I went, you know what? God's testing me,
right?
And so what I did was I canceled and I got an Uber.
Yeah.
And I said, praise Allah.
Yeah. Well, I commend you for living a very privileged life.
Actually, you know what happened was I went to book an Uber. It was $50. I said, it's too much. Went for the lift. Never arrived up. Went back to Uber. Went down to 35.
You know what?
So actually,
God is good. All the time. God is good.
God is good. Yes.
Thank you.
So anyone out there who's like ill and stuff, it's a mindset. Get the fuck over it. Buy a wig. Get out there. Get out there and start living life.
Hey, shake the cancer off you. All right.
That is. What did you do in a previous life?
Dance it away.
That's
all right.
This will be. Although this will don't come out in about 6 months. By the way, so we have to predict what's going to happen in the future.
Oh, good.
Today,
I like banking podcasts 6 months in advance, just so we like really feel like finger on the pulse of society. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, actually,
You're a trans woman in 6 months,
and I hope you're dead.
This is the beginning. This is the beginning. So I'm just telling you. I mean, tell your beautiful self, Colleen, into that camera. That you're a beautiful, empowered woman.
So this was recorded with the late Jeremiah Watkins. And I'm so happy that we got this interview before the tragic sketch that went wrong. He was doing he was skiing.
I was skiing for a movie. Yeah,
he was naked. He was skiing naked in the Catskills, and it was a horrible accident. Mm-hmm. So I hope you guys enjoyed this interview. This was the last time he ever spoke on camera.
Yeah, this was my final podcast. As you can tell, my voice is going. I have throat cancer.
You're doing a voiceover. So this was the last one I did before I died. That's kind of funny to save something to release.
Right.
After you go. So this was like what I did before I died.
All right. Now we did the normal podcast. Now we're gonna do a secret side podcast just in case I die tragically. Okay.
How would you like to die if you could choose?
I think maybe I don't know. Maybe in my sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know that. Oof.
You want to go out like a pussy,
or it
surrounded
could
by
be,
loved ones?
I don't think the holding hands thing in the hospital. That like I think that's a lot on your family.
Imagine
you
looking
know what I
down
mean?
Imagine looking down and just seeing like your granddaughter just like she's on her phone. Like you're dying. She's like sort of just just scrolling through something.
Oh, that's so
Or
bad.
you're just dying and just
like she forgets to turn the
Just
audio off her
someone's at the end of it.
Instagram and it starts playing like while she's scrolling. You're like, oh God, take me, Lord, take me.
I think I'd like to go out auto blow.
What's that?
The auto blow, the blowjob machine, just like a malfunction.
Death by sucking?
Death by sucking.
Okay.
With, like, and someone finds me and it's just been going. It's gone
Dude,
right through
but
my
here's
body.
Here's the thing.
The Oculus, the Oculus is on. And I'm like,
the Oculus is on.
Yeah.
You've bled out. It's going so hard that it's gone through your entire body and it's going into the apartment complex
That's
below
why they
you.
have to-
And it's dangling. It's like, yeah.
so and there's just like bits of blood and guts dripping down
and
into the neighbor
and there's a
below me.
construction worker that looks down through the hole.
Wow.
And then there's a camera that looks up, and then there's an old woman that like has the broom, and then like she did it at the wrong time, and it goes through the ceiling and through your body and through the machine.
And the biggest orgasm anyone's ever had, and just fucking
And that's how you go.
that's
Starts raining just like jizz upon the old woman who is like hitting like
that's
the
in
broom.
my top 15 deaths.
Yeah.
All right,
okay.
now for 14.
Okay.
I'm giving them all.
Okay, great.
I don't know, probably just OD on something. That'd be pretty cool.
Um,
My legacy as a rock star, you know?
yeah.
I take a CBD tablet, there's fentanyl in it, bang.
Would you take a bullet for somebody?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but more like Steve-O, like a stunt. You shoot me in the hand, get a couple of views, smash that like button. I'm missing a thumb. That's what I could do. Like, but for loved ones, like to save their life.
Yeah.
No, fuck that.
Okay.
What are they in such a stupid situation for?
Yeah.
I don't hang around with gangbangers.
Yeah, but
Who's getting bullets?
Okay, hypothetical.
Okay.
You're with a loved one, right?
Mm.
And somebody pulls a gun.
Yeah.
And they're like they're going back and
My
forth
girl?
kind of thing. Okay, it's with your girl.
With my girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're going back and forth and they're like, I'm going to kill her or kill you.
No, take me. I mean, like, kind of.
Like,
No.
no,
Not her.
I should go first. Kill her. Please, just come on. My comedy career is budding right now. Come
Dude,
on.
I'll give you a head start. Just shoot her. I'll say you ran the other way. Come on.
And then like I'll do one of those like, oh no.
Yeah. Pistol whip me or do just
Yeah,
I'll let you
yeah.
get away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I would do. But also, I'm being honest with my girlfriend. She ain't done achieve shit in life. So I think it'd be wasteful for her to live. She ain't doing nothing but watch it fucking Real Housewives of New York or
Okay.
whatever. She's not doing anything.
Yeah.
She's just a plain Jane,
Yeah.
worthless human. I'm gonna do things. I'm gonna set up a TikTok.
Right.
You know, I've got big plans.
Yeah, you have aspirations to
Exactly.
set up a free TikTok account someday.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
I'll get around to it.
No, that's good.
I can take over the world. I'll lip sync.
Of course.
Donald Trump, has that been done? I can do that.
You can do that?
I can lip sync Donald Trump. I think that's a unique idea.
Oh, it's its own brand on TikTok.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are you on TikTok?
I am out of necessity.
Oh yeah.
Not out of pleasure.
I went on it and it was just all these hot teens. I was like, I don't need that.
Yeah, that's
It was like, I don't know who invented that algorithm, but they're a pervert. And I don't like. I know there's like.
so
Listen, here's it's
you know what's funny about you saying the algorithm? That's not my feed. So that is your feed.
no.
That is no. The algorithm
Cut.
Listen, the algorithm is tailored to the user, okay? So for mine, example, on Instagram,
Yes.
I love wiener dogs, right? I have a wiener dog in Kansas. I love dachshunds. I looked at one freaking wiener dog video and liked it. My whole feed now is just wiener dogs.
Can't see any tits.
No.
You're scrolling forever. Where's all the bikini photos? They're
Right?
gone?
What's going on?
Interesting.
That dog has tits. What's going on?
they blend it together.
Right.
My feed is all just bikini ladies and Conor McGregor. That's like my whole life is just always some spinning heel knockout in the UFC
Yeah.
and also some chick from Australia.
After
on
the
beach.
Spider-Man movie, I liked a couple of No Way Home. I liked a couple photos of like of different Spider-Man suits and like Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
It started showing me like Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield shirtless pics I was like, Instagram. I looked at Spider-Man pictures. I don't need this in my feed. What are you doing? It took like a month to get rid of it for me to scroll past it before they're like, okay, we'll suggest something else to.
Well, it's kind of weird. I got myself out before. I got myself out of the feed of just hot women. But now it must have slowly came back in.
I think we all
it's
go
kind
through
of weird,
spurts of
but they
like
send,
having the bikini feeds where you're like, okay. Well,
but it's kind of weird because sometimes some girl will show up or whatever, and they've only got like say 3,000 followers. It's just a regular person, but she looks good in this photo.
Isn't that weird?
It's weird because
so does our comedy go to people like that every once in a while?
I would hope so, maybe, but at least we're like really trying.
Yeah,
this is just some person. Like, it's weird if someone took that photo and then just sent it to a random person. Go, look at this woman on a beach.
right.
But because the algorithm's doing it, we're all like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
Just a bunch of fucking perverts on the other side of the world, just ripping themselves asunder.
Yeah.
But so you're telling me I'm a pervert? The algorithm knows because I just downloaded
Hey,
TikTok.
I'm not saying that I don't have my phases of going through where I have like
Hot
it'll be
teens.
bikinis and no, where
Super babes, delicious teenage babes. Yeah.
well cut the teenage part and delicious babes. We'll keep that.
Just teenagers of mediocre attractiveness.
No, that's not in my feed.
Ugly teen? Do you ever have ugly
Man,
teens?
my voice. I'm losing my voice. I don't know what's going on over here.
No, but it is. A lot of these. This is why I got rid of TikTok straight away. I was just like, I don't need access to like some high school girl.
No,
who
it is
looks
weird.
hot. I don't need that on my life.
There are a lot.
That's the opposite of what I want.
There are a lot of things where randomly, if you don't quickly scroll past it, it thinks you like it.
It's the hovering.
So like if you see somebody dancing and doing this and they look questionably, you're like, what is going on here? If you start watching it a little bit, it will start recommending you different videos of like other girls. They're like, hi,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, I'm trying not to be a pervert, and here's this little magic box. This thing just keeps showing me women who are so much hotter than my girlfriend. It's like, what are you doing to me?
Can I just say, your girlfriend is one lucky woman.
She's all right. Yeah, she is lucky. She's the luckiest fucking bitch. I'm such a good partner.
You're a good provider, right?
You're married, are you?
Yeah.
How long's that been? How long have you been married?
I've been married since 2017.
2017.
Yeah.
Was it a big proposal? Did you have to do something romantic? Did you do something creative? I have a feeling like you did something.
It was remotely creative.
Did you play a song?
No, I did not play Baker Street on sax.
No? Okay.
No. But that would have been sexy. I had actually moved the place where we had our first kiss was on the porch of an old apartment that I used to live at, right? And I was on a first date that we had gone on a long time ago, now over 11 years ago.
At your apartment?
At my apartment, yeah. We had gone
She
to a
walked you
movie.
home?
We'd gone to a movie, and we had walked to the movie. It was close enough to walk. She had parked at my place.
Ah,
We
okay.
walked,
Yeah.
walked around LA. It was
It
like
did
part
seem
of the
like
date.
she walked you back.
Oh, yeah,
All right.
for sure.
It's pretty tough out here, Jeremiah. So I'm
so I'm
walking
gonna walk you home because I know that Jeremiah, that you might get raped if you walk home alone. It might happen. You're looking real juicy tonight.
It's easy pickings you are walking around.
Yeah. So I kissed her on my porch on our first date, and then we started dating a couple months later, like more seriously. And I had moved out of that apartment, and I had made an excuse that night where we were going to go visit my buddy who still lived in that apartment.
Oh, okay.
And one of the first times after we started talking, she saw me at the Comedy Store in the main room, and I happened to be given a spot in the main room at the Comedy Store that night. So I invited her to the Comedy Store. I usually only invite her to shows that are meaningful to me because we have so many at this point.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm in the main room tonight. I'm excited about it. Will you come see me? And she's like, yeah, of course. And at the end of that, we went to visit my buddy. We're like, well, we'll watch Walking Dead over at his place. It's like when Walking Dead was huge. And so it was like perfect. It was Sunday night. Like Walking Dead was premiering. He had it, the AMC channel. Perfect. So we go over there and we're on the porch, and I had the ring in my pocket the entire time that I was, at the Comedy Store and stuff like that.
Of course.
And then proposed to her on the porch where we had our first kiss.
Great. Good
Yeah.
stuff. She said yes.
Yes,
Great.
she did.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't an awkward, like, let me think about it.
Oh, good. Yeah, it was probably, you knew though, right?
I knew. We had already.
That's great. I will never get a no. I can't even imagine being in that world of getting a no.
If you get a no
on the spot,
there's lack
a no
of,
on the spot.
There's lack of communication in your relationship.
It's crazy
because
the delusion.
Because we had talked about, she was wanting to get married. Like
They
her
all-
dad, I'd even talked to her dad about it. Like her dad actually called me and said, "You have my permission," before I asked for it.
Wow.
And I was like, "Oh frick,
Good.
I gotta do this soon." Like
You
this
went,
is
well, I don't really see her like that, sir. She's sort of just a piece for me. Dude,
most
you don't bring an
awkward
apple to
phone
an
call.
orchard, dude. He's like, dude, you.
He called me right before I went on stage at a comedy show, and I had to talk about it on stage because he called. Like he never calls me. I was like, "Is everything okay?" You know what I mean? I answer. He's like, "You have permission to marry my daughter." I was like, "Yeah, thank you." And then they're like Jeremiah Watkins, like I had to like quickly like go to the stage.
And then you're
after
like,
that.
no, I have to do it. You're like, fuck. Kind of like you were pushed into it. Then
It was.
would you have asked?
I was going. Here's the
It's
thing.
odd to
I was
ask.
going to on my time, but there's certain things where I'm like, I knew I was going to eventually, and I was like, if this is more meaningful to her to have it slightly earlier than me as a dude who's like, yeah, I'll get around to it.
Yeah,
then I'm
of
like,
course.
what's the point? I'd rather
Yeah.
us both be happy, like in that,
Mhm.
and like, and just do it rather than like, I'll get to it, and like, if it makes sense in 6 months, even though like. Realistically, as a comic, not much in our lives is going to change between that point and that point. Like now, I'm ready to be married.
Yeah.
I loved her, so I was like, okay, that makes sense.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna propose.
I'm gonna do it.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
But it is weird to ask for permission though, kind of, because it's like
Oh, it's an old
It's like-
school tradition.
It's
for
like
sure.
I
Yeah.
get it. Listen, I'm buying your daughter. That's kind of the whole like I'm taking this burden off your hands.
Here's this cow.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I just get it for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, how much for it?
Well, that's the thing. We get off easy now.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you had to barter and trade to
Yeah,
get your
but
wife back
you
in
know,
the day. Come on.
arranged marriage in Ireland was a thing.
How long?
To some of the rural parts, it was like early 1900s, like
Really?
1950s, I think. Could have
Okay.
been. And they would like the two fathers would meet in the pub, and they would barter over like,
Yeah.
you can get my daughter, but you got to give me 5 sheep. And,
Yeah.
and every other Sunday you got
It's
to.
a very weird thing to be like, what's in this for me? You
Yeah.
know? Like, hey,
Prime real estate. Look like
I know. I raised her. She looks good, man.
yeah, dude.
My daughter's worth another pig on top of whatever you're
You could-
offering me.
No, the other daughter, you can have her. Whatever.
My other daughter, she is a pig. You can just have her.
And it's like, yeah, and the guy's going, look at your daughter, dude. She's not done age well. Look at your wife. She's not done age well. And
Hey, I've seen how these goods, age, and I don't know about it. Yeah,
yeah,
they're gonna expire real soon.
that'd be so tough too if you fell in love and you're like, but they're asking for 6 pigs. Yeah,
That'd
it's
be
like, you
horrible. Yeah,
She's a
that'd
4-pig lady at most.
That would be the worst predicament to be in. Like, you have a connection with somebody and you're in love, and you're like, my dad can't afford to buy you.
But
That's
also,
sad.
you understand. You go, that's a bit much. I love you, and no one's gonna love you more. But
Yeah.
6 pigs is.
Come on,
I'd rather be alone.
you're a 6, not a 6-pig woman.
Absolutely. But if Irish people, we got a past. It's always the Indians. Everyone always brings up like arranged marriage and Indian culture. But for some reason, Irish people just never quite. We
That's
sort of just ducked that one.
Huh?
It wouldn't be from where I am in the city, but like out in the country, the fucking hillbillies out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe we should bring it back.
You know what? Throwback Thursday, man.
Throw back to their little arranged marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do a test.
Okay.
See how long, because everyone's getting divorced anyway. You have freedom of choice.
Hey,
Is shit.
50-50. Why not?
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
roll the dice, baby. Let it roll. Let it ride.
Maybe make a TV show.
Yeah.
Roll the dice.
I mean, that would actually be a really, really good reality TV show. Arranged marriages.
they must
They-
exist, right? Like
Does
a show called Arranged Marriage.
I don't know.
And you just
I
get
know
to-
they've done like the
and then this-
Mormon reality TV shows and stuff like that, and people love those kind of shows.
more marriage, more wives.
Mormon, yeah, where you have like multiple wives.
Would you have the mental energy now to take on another one if your girl was if your wife was?
I mean,
seems
everybody,
exhausting.
Everybody's like, "Oh, dude, it'd be great to have sex with all these women." It's like, dude,
no.
emotionally,
I just have-
you would be so drained.
Now I've got more women I don't want to have sex with. Now I'm letting down so many different women. My self-esteem is going to be shattered if
Right.
it's constantly getting fucking berated.
Yeah.
That sounds crazy. When people talk about like multiple wives, I'm like, no way.
I mean, even every guy talks about like threesomes, but anytime somebody talks like, yeah, there's like 4 or 5 girls, I'm like, 4 or 5? What are you talking about? That sounds horrible.
I don't even know what you like.
What do you even do?
Instead of just fucking
Yeah. What?
You're just doing some weird tricks,
That's
and you're
insane.
And then obviously you come in the first minute, so then you're like,
Yeah,
all right,
and then
ladies.
you're like, okay, do you
Uber
guys wanna watch
XL?
a movie? Or, yeah, Uber XL.
I was talking to my girlfriend about
Yeah, you're so cheap. You give them one Uber to a bus stop.
so
Figure it out from there.
You're all
You're all going in the same Uber, right? Okay, cool. Because Daddy can't afford to send 4 Uber blacks to different areas of town.
There's too many of you girls.
Yeah, you get it. Come on, you get it.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need much. It always seems that anytime someone has a threesome, though, it's like usually in my world, the attainable threesomes that genuinely women you probably wouldn't want to be really. They're not the top shelf. You're not having like the most beautiful women threesomes.
Unless you're like some kind of celebrity or something, then like
Fucking
an
celebrities.
average everyday guy, like who I've talked to who's had threesomes, they're like,
It's normally
yeah,
like-
they're kind of rough.
Yeah, they were a real 2 for deal. It's like you wouldn't do them individually, but together you're like, all right.
I'm down for a threesome. Let's do that.
Yeah, just some like just it's always a girl with like a dog paw tattoo on her breast. You know, that type of just
In between the
yeah, just something about a tattooed titty where you go fuck. It was like I had a threesome. You're like, I guess. I said to my girlfriend about having a threesome, and she kind of in a roundabout way was like, but like, what you're gonna come really fast, and then what will we do?
wow,
And I
she
was
went
like-
straight to that, man.
She did kind of. She would, yeah.
Shout out to your girl, man. I'm liking her more and more, man.
You what?
I like her, dude.
No,
She's cool, man.
as a bro,
She's
this
cool.
is for.
Hey, man, she's
all
cool
right.
in my book.
She keeps me. She keeps
you in check, right?
She does.
That's why I like her, man.
That's
good.
I need. I
You
need.
you need that. You need that.
I need
dude.
someone who's just constantly belittling me.
Dude, it's important. It's important for all of us. Get grounded. Have somebody to check you a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know if we'll ever get one, but I think I could last longer if it was like a new person. I think I'd be trying to impress him.
That's
more.
how you're selling your wife. Listen, babe, I can last longer if it's not you.
Baby, you're so beautiful.
You're so beautiful. You make me come instantly. Okay.
So yeah, exactly.
And then I like if we bring somebody else in, like I'm just comfortable with you, so I'm able to come quick. Like I'm gonna put out a performance for somebody new.
Yeah, I'm really gonna try bring out
Right.
the big guns, but I don't have anything in the chamber. It's not like I'm holding back some great fucking.
Right.
You know, it is what it is. It's crazy. I'd hate to be good at sex, man. That seems like a really
Oh,
exhausting
to be
thing.
like talented at it.
the guy who's like, I'm the good at sex guy. What the fuck?
Oh, they
What's-
can go like
Go- yeah.
I go for 45
40
minutes
minutes
every time. I'm like,
minimum. I'm like, what?
No,
I got tweets.
that's not even enjoyable.
No.
My wife will tell me like, okay,
Mm.
let's wrap this up.
Yeah,
know
yeah.
what I mean?
I've
Like-
had to
like,
wrap it up
You know,
sometimes.
what I mean? Like it'll be like,
Yeah.
okay, like whenever you're ready. Like I did my thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sex is supposed to be a
That's the thing.
2 minute
It's
thing.
the communication.
2 minute thing.
That's why it's important communication, even in the bedroom. It's like, hey, sometimes like you don't want sex to be this long thing. You can be like, hey, I'm good. If you're ready, I'm good.
Absolutely. I think we should just like time is money these days, dude. I'm out here achieving
That's what I
stuff.
think about when I'm having sex. I'm like, time is money.
I'm thinking
You know
about
what I mean?
thumbnails when I'm fucking having sex. So I'm just like, man, maybe I should have cropped that a little bit better. And think, oh, did I title that episode right? That's what I'm thinking all the time.
Yeah.
I
My
mean-
Photoshop skills in that thumbnail. It could have been better.
Of course, I need to learn.
I could have cut out my guts a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm just like going down on my girl. I'm just like, oh man, Andrew Schultz killing the clips game. That's what I'm thinking. I'm always just like, oh, Akash Singh. Oh.
Your safe word is flagrant too.
That's exactly, yeah.
There you go.
Exactly. Just can't take my eyes off the prize. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Stay in it.
Everyone else is distracted by pussy.
And I mean, that's facts though for a lot
Facts.
of comics. That's facts.
Facts.
Yep.
Straight facts.
Straight facts. Big facts.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, that to me.
Well, some people have actually gone a little bit too far and maybe damaged their careers a little. Some people
that happens.
out here.
That happens for sure.
We don't do that out east.
Yeah, that is interesting.
No, we're not hot.
We had an LA swell that happened, and New York was laughing.
Yeah. Well, we in LA it seems more like young. They like them young. This is your issue out here. It's like you guys are more like young, whereas we're more like physically violent against women. The East Coast is more of a physical thing. You guys are more like creepy.
Hilarious.
Yeah, so that's the way it is.
I
you know?
also think, though, it's the way that New York women, something that I noticed visiting from LA going to New York, the way that East Coast women dress is way more sophisticated and more put together than LA women. Does that make sense?
Yeah, the LA LA
So,
women are horse.
I see.
I hear you.
I see women on the street walking down the street in New York that are literally like, they look more professional.
Yeah.
Like just the way they're walking around and stuff like that, and the way they dress, they're exuding a certain kind of energy that's very different from, hey, like that. Like, I'm ready to party. It's like, no,
Everyone out here is in
I'm
leggings.
going to
They're
make
going to-
money today. I'm going to do this, and I have a mission, and everybody's walking fast. It's just a different thing.
Yeah. So there's less temptation. Is that what you're kind of saying?
I think everybody's a little bit more blinders on in New York. I think
be
so.
tough to get.
because I think I think the living is harder there, so you have to be more disciplined on like, hey, I got to focus more on my career. Where LA, like, you can dick around. I think you have the luxury of being able to dick around a little bit more, and it can either be helpful at times or really hurt you because you can get distracted a little bit easier.
It would really bug me to get cancelled over pussy. Like, it's like such a come on, man. You just couldn't have not done that. And it's like, I know, but it's so good.
Well, I mean,
it's just so good. God damn it.
I mean, that's obviously like where everybody has their own addictions. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that's where like the addiction comes in, where it's like, oh, you couldn't abstain from doing that.
Yeah.
Then obviously you have like a literal thing,
Yeah, into the power thing, is it?
I think so. I think it's an ego and power thing for sure.
Yeah. Getting cancelled over some like slurs it's fine.
You're like, that's more fun, guys.
That's just happened, dude. How could I not? What's the point of anything if I'm not gonna say some slurs?
Sorry to interrupt the show. Just reminding you guys that if you are not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, please consider doing it. If you're listening on audio, head over to YouTube/Colum Tyrrell, hit subscribe. You'll be able to see all of the episodes. And if you're watching right now on YouTube, just hit it. It costs you nothing. It's absolutely free, and it really helps grow what we're doing right now. So if you could do that right now, that would be really great. I appreciate it. Back to the show.
What do you have a slur? What are you? Are you like Irishy or Watkins?
Actually, I'm almost 2/3 Irish British.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
But you don't really have anything, do you? Gay?
Do I have what?
Do you have like a slur that someone could hit you with?
Oh, where I would be offended by it?
Do you ever get called like a Jew and you're like, I'm not Jewish?
You know what? I've been called Jewish so many times because of the size of my nose, which is really racist towards Jewish people, to be honest. Like if people see like my nose and they're like, "Are you Jewish?" I'm like, dude, I know you're asking because of my nose.
That's what I brought up.
I have no other Jewish traits. I'm a very white, Aryan-looking, tall guy. I don't have curly hair, anything like that.
Asthma,
like,
you don't have nothing. You're
I mean, I did mention allergies earlier.
okay, you do. Yeah,
I do have Jewish tendencies. I'm back in the game, baby. No, but I get that a lot after shows, especially like in places like, like outside of California. They're like, "Hey man, are you Jewish?"
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
I do think in the heat of a moment, if we
like-
were fighting on the street or something, I think I might hit you with a Jewish slur, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm like looking around. I'm
Oh
trying.
yeah. You're
I'm trying to figure out
you're
what it is.
scrambling.
Yeah.
You need a slur. You see something in front of you. You gotta go for
It's
it.
just the
I
first
get it.
one,
Cole.
and then you go, "Whoa, joke's on you." I'm actually Irish. And I'm like,
Right.
"You Mick, fuck."
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder what it's like. I don't have any words. Like Mick doesn't insult
Yeah.
me at all. Like nearly everyone's called Mick. Like it's the most popular name in Ireland.
Yeah. That's a weird one. I don't know. Yeah. I don't think I'd be really hit with it. I'm pretty like, because I've
Patty.
been around a lot of like the roast culture and scene on many shows for years around LA. I've developed pretty thick skin.
Yeah.
I had one heckled though recently.
Recently, please.
That just messed with me. It was such a weird heckle. In the middle of my show, somebody yells out from the back of the room, "What are you running from?" And I was like, what the frick it stopped me. I rarely get stumped on stage. I had to just address how weird and how much I'm like, you got me. That messed with me. And then that is such a weird thing to say to somebody. And then I'm like, I riffed on it for a while. I was like, what am I running from?
Yeah, you don't want to open that chamber, dude. On stage, in the middle of it.
Oh, that's what I'm so present on stage. I just went for it. I was like, what guys, what am I? I just like went into it, made it a bit.
Are you running from anything? Did you get to the bottom of it?
No, I'm still searching. That heckle's still with me.
I'm running towards my parents' love, actually. Yeah. And I can never get there.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, someone
Yeah,
hits
that was
you
a
with
weird
that.
one.
He goes,
Was it-
"You're reflecting," or whatever.
Yeah.
You drink because you have insecurities. Or something.
Yeah.
That's a real heckle, not like you suck or anything like that.
Yeah.
They're the best ones, actually. If you
Yeah,
ever
those are darts. Those
when
are
someone actually
bullseyes.
hits you with a "yo, you stink," at least I like that.
I mean,
They're good heckles.
I mean, if it's flat out that, I'm like, oh, we're doing this?
Yes.
Let's freaking go.
At least they're paying attention.
Let's go.
It's worse if they're like on their phone or having a conversation with someone beside you. You know, that's
That to me
or
is,
someone just repeats something is the worst heckle.
I always say with my comedy, I'd rather have somebody love me or hate me than indifferent.
Yes.
Indifference is the worst reception at a comedy show.
Yes.
That guy was all right.
You want to walk the room.
Ugh.
Yeah. Have you ever? I think this is where we're very different performers. Have you ever walked anyone? Like people get up and leave.
Yeah, I walked some people.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that was because they didn't like your antics. I feel like you weren't.
Sometimes, I mean,
You weren't doing an impression of
sometimes
a fat
I'll
black
be.
lady.
No, sometimes
Can
I'll
you
be,
do a good fat black lady?
I usually do, but my voice is like really messed up right now. Like, usually I'd kill it. You know what I mean?
I'll do it, and you give me pointers as to
I don't know.
not black enough.
Yeah.
Blacker.
That's just my note. That's my note. It's like, yeah.
Fatter.
A little fatter, please. A
More
little fatter.
yeah.
A little more bass, please. A little more. Could you get a little more Aretha in there? That'd be great. A little more Aretha. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I've had some people. I'm not a super dirty comic, but every once in a while, like I'll be, graphic or explicit with sex stuff. You know what I mean?
Really? Okay.
And some people have been like, they've been like, this is too much, and which that's pretty rare because I'm really not that filthy even on my dirtiest bits.
Yeah.
Or it's more like
So they're just like
I'll
random.
walk people if they're being chatty and they're drunk.
Yeah.
I'll go in on them
And
because
you'll
I'm like,
force them to, yeah,
I'll
that's
be
good.
like, yo, we can keep doing this, but the show is gonna be better without you.
Yeah.
And I've had people like I'm like, sure, go complain to the club because I'm in the right and everybody else is having a good time right now and you're ruining this moment. And then like I'm like, I'm gonna be honest with because I try to avoid that at all costs because like I said, I try to be very positive.
Of course,
but there I do have a
you've been-
switch.
You've been
I do a little
bottling it
bit
up
of the
all day.
Irish,
Of course.
a little bit of that inner rage, where I'm
you've been
like,
bottling it
okay,
up.
after a certain point, like you pushed me enough. Like I've been kind many times to you.
Yeah.
This is what we're gonna do now.
Yeah, I've gotten to a point now, especially like back at the stand where I've dealt with so many hecklers, when I go so hard over the top back that it ruins the whole show. Like everyone in the whole room was just like, you didn't need to say that.
It's a very delicate line that
So-
we have to walk because we are in the right for only so long.
Until then,
We have an extension from the audience is like, hey, they're in the wrong. You are owed some retaliation.
yeah,
But if you cross that line,
you can go
you
too
lose
much.
the crowd. And then they're like, this guy's mean. He didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
He could have dealt with it a little bit nicer.
Yeah, when you start going into it, it's like, I hope your parents fucking get cancer. And
Yeah.
you get ass raped on the way home and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And that was like,
That's not my tactic,
no.
but we're different comics.
Well, that's the setup, and then they heckle. That's how I open my set. Actually,
that's how you open.
That's not even the
Come
bad.
at me. Come at me. Bring it on.
Yeah, so
I
now,
need therapy. Let's do this.
I got some therapy sponsors coming in, so maybe I'll get some free therapy, and maybe things will be different this time next year. I'll be in the dress.
Some better help. Maybe there.
Exactly, possibly. I
Yeah.
hope we have an ad read for better help, and we can just add that in. But listen, I think we're at an hour, right? Is that's roughly it? All right. I hate to abruptly end like that, but
No, hey man, we abruptly started. We abruptly ended. That's how I like doing
thank you
things.
so much for. I know you're a busy, man. Thank you.
Oh no, dude! Thank you so much for
Hope-
having me. I
hope-
appreciate you putting in the effort to make all this happen. So
Everybody, please, like I always say, go leave a comment on any of Jeremiah Watkins stuff. There'll be a link in the description below. Head over, just say, saw you on Colum Tyrrell's podcast, fan. He's very, very talented. And I said that earlier, one of the actual few talented people in the industry of losers. So,
Jeremiah stand up on social media. I'm a fun follow. So yeah, come check
Absolutely.
it out.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, brother.